Hola, clase. Bienvenidos a la lectura, the lesson de escribir un cuento en español. Ok, vamos a empezar. Aquí tenemos Spanish 2 Writing Lesson. Voy a presentar la información. Cómo escribir un cuento. How to write a story. So here's our goals for today. At the end of this little mini lesson, I want you to be able to say these things. 1, I can use storytelling to communicate in Spanish. 2, I can add details to the class story Jorge Macarena Squidge, El Pulpo. So, those are 2 pretty good goals, I'd say. When we start to tell stories in Spanish, we start to realize that life's just one big story. So when we talk to our friends, when we communicate with people, if we go abroad and we, por ejemplo, si vamos a México o a Guatemala o Nicaragua o España y hablas con la gente, con las personas, if you talk with the people, you realize that everybody's just telling stories. So, that is what we're dealing with here, is storytelling to communicate with other people. That is really the main goal and the essence of our lesson today. We're going to do that through this example of Jorge Macarena Squidge, El Pulpo, which is our class story, and hopefully a very exciting and compelling text for all of you because you created the story with your input. Here's our learning target for storytelling. I can use, this is like our sub-target. I can use setting, plot, escenario, trama, diálogo, dialogue, description, and morals, moraleja, in order to write a story in Spanish. So here's some key vocab for us. El cuento. El cuento es de Jorge Macarena Squidge, El Pulpo. El escenario está en un estanque de pudín de chocolate en Rusia. Y la trama, no hay una trama, solamente es que Jorge perdió, he lost, perdió una pierna, one of his legs. Oh no, 2 piernas, lo siento clase, perdió 2 piernas en un juego de póker, Y la descripción, well, Jorge trabajaba en un banco y vendía casas y tenía 2 hijos y una novia. We don't yet have a dialogue or a moral. Okay, so here, what I'm going to do here next is I'm going to talk us through some strategies for storytelling and for setting the scene, for building up to a plot. And as I do that, you can take down notes as you watch. Your goal in the end is you're going to actually use some of these strategies to take a turn writing either the prequel or the ending to this story. So you're going to be either writing the beginning, how Jorge Macarena Squidge lost his 2 legs, or the end, perhaps pursuing his dream for world peace. So those are going to be kind of your 2 extension options. Okay, so let me give you some examples. Generally, typically in any stories that we write in Spanish class, we want to do this. We want to have a description of our setting. Okay, so sometimes it's first of all, it's a way to milk our story, to make it a little longer, a little more detailed, to give it a little more context in its place, and to practice this basic language of weather, the date, what time it is, and the seasons. And if you also think about it, small talk in general is one of those things that we just do. So when you meet somebody new, or if you're in a foreign country, you can say, Hola, buenos días, buenos días. Ah, es un día muy bonito hoy, ¿sí? Es un día muy bonito. Hace mucho sol, ¿sí? No está fría, no. Este día es muy bonito, right? Like you talk with people about the weather. You're like, oh, it's a nice day. It's really pretty. It's really sunny out there, right? Okay, so these are some examples that you see on the screen. Es miércoles, el 3 de octubre, the date. Son las 6 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora son? What time is it? ¿Qué hora es? Son las 6 de la tarde. Es el medio del invierno. It's the middle of winter. This is another example. Hay mucha nieve. There's a lot of snow. Y hace frío. Okay. All right. So here's a description of a setting that we already have in our story, and it's sort of an extension, right? So it's more. And these are some questions you can consider when writing your own original stories in class. It looks, it smells, it sounds, it is peaceful, crowded, etc. Here's some examples. Jorge Macarena's squid era muy viscoso. He was very slimy. Vivía en un estanque de pudín. El estanque class, remember, is a pond or a swamp. El estanque estaba hecho de pudín. Huele, it smells, huele o olía, in the past, olía a chocolate. No era un estanque muy tranquilo. It wasn't very tranquilo. It wasn't very calm. Había muchos animales y mucho ruido, a lot of noise. Le gusta, no le gusta. So here's some things about Jorge. A Jorge le gusta or le gustaba tocar el recorder, como Anthony. No le gustan los niños. He doesn't like kids. I don't know if that's true, but I think that might be true. He doesn't like kids. No le gustaban los niños. I think that was part of our story. Le encanta, he loves. Le encantaba, in the past, le encantaba el hielo verde. Y Jorge odia, he hates. It's such a bad word. I don't let my kids use it, my little kids, but odia, he hates las mentiras, lies. That could come in handy later. Right, like here I might introduce something cool, like he doesn't like when people lie. Because then later someone might tell a lie and then he'll not be happy. Okay. Preferencias. So here's a description of some preferences. Jorge piensa, he thinks, que hielo verde es el mejor sabor de hielo en el universo. Wow. En su opinión, no existe un sabor mejor. Un sabor mejor. So in his opinion, a better Jell-O just doesn't exist. No existe un sabor mejor. Jorge era un pulpo normal. So here's our general beginning description in a story. So here we were setting the scene. We were describing what this character liked, what their preferences were, right? Preferences, their setting. Okay, so now after preferences, we can really move on to the description of the people, which for us is Jorge, el pulpo. Jorge era un pulpo normal. Oops, ay, Dios mío. Tenía 47. He's 47 years old. I made that up, mostly because my birthday is April 7th, 47, and because 47 is a good number to memorize. It'll help you learn. 47 años. Trabajaba en un banco y a veces vendía casas. Sometimes he sold houses. Jorge está, I wrote this in the present, está triste porque hay mucha violencia en el estanque de pudín y él quiere paz mundial. Whoa, this is getting deep all of a sudden. There's a lot of violence in the pond and he wants world peace. Jorge era un pulpo verde. He was green. Y solamente tenía 6 años. That's not true. He only had something. Hold on a second. Tenía 6 piernas. Solamente tenía 6 piernas. Okay, he only had 6 legs. Got it. And you all already knew that he only had 6 legs. Tenía 6 piernas. Jorge. Let's go back to our present mode. Okay, Jorge era un pulpo honesto. Honesto es obvio, clase, es obvio, honesto. Era honest, if you cover the O. I just covered mine, you can't see that. Era un pulpo más o menos normal. No era grande ni pequeño. No era grande, no era pequeño. Solamente tenía 6 piernas. Y perdió, he lost. Perdió 2 piernas. He lost 2 legs. Perdió 2 piernas. Ay, Dios mío. Perdió 2 piernas en un juego de póker. Jorge le gusta apostar, to bet. Era un pulpo humilde. He was very humble. No llevaba ropa lujosa. Let's see. Oops, I lost it. Sorry, guys. He didn't wear luxurious clothing. Okay, we're almost there. So here's some stuff. Next, we want to dig into what the past was like for him. What he often preferred, what he liked, what he did not like. And then we think about now. What is he like? What does he prefer? What are his likes and what doesn't he like? Okay, so here we go. We have Jorge. Cuando Jorge era un niño, era muy competitivo. Siempre quería ganar. He always wanted to win, ganar. Y nunca quería perder. ¿Sí? ¿Verdad? Siempre quería ganar. Nunca quería perder. Y no le gustaba perder. No. Ahora, now, in the present. Okay, so that was then. But look how he's changed. Ahora, Jorge no es competitivo. Es pacifista. He's a pacifist. No quiere ganar ni perder. Ahora, Jorge prefiere la paz. Okay, so that's like our transition point in our story. From here, I can tell the backstory. Hace 29 años, 29 years ago, cuando Jorge tenía 18 años, when he was 18, Jorge se graduó del colegio. Colegio, class, don't forget, does not mean college. It means high school. It's kind of a tricky thing. College is just universidad. Okay. Jorge se graduó del colegio y se mudó. That's my motion for se mudó, for moved. Ready? Whoosh. He moved. You guys do that at home right now. Yeah, you go for it. You know you want to. Woo. Okay. A Las Vegas, Nevada. En Las Vegas, Jorge siempre apostaba. I'm so afraid that I was just recording and you guys didn't see my whole screen, but we'll find out. Okay, he would always bet. Siempre apostaba. He was always gambling. Cada noche. Every night. Cada noche. Here's a past tense. The imperfect tense is what we call it in the past. Cada noche. Every night. Every night, Jorge would go out. Salía. Cada noche, Jorge salía. He would go out. Salía a apostar. He would go out to gamble. Jorge tenía problemas de apostar. He had problems, right? Perdió 2 piernas. But we don't know how. You guys are going to tell that story. You guys are going to tell the story of the prequel. How did he lose his 2 legs? Coming up. That's your assignment. Not now. We'll talk about it on Friday. Ahora nunca apuesta. He never gambles now. Okay. So here was the lesson that went down for him. But now, this is where you jump in. So this is where your assignment is. So yeah, we are going to talk about it now. So here's what you guys are going to be charged with coming up.